What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy from Hard to Master. As you can tell, my beard is gone, so I may look a little bit different, but it's still me. And today, I'm doing a special video for you. We're going to talk about Stroganov. I was looking online, and there are not very many videos on this game. It is new. It is kind of hot. People are talking about it, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of information out there as far as YouTube videos, how to play, is it any good? This is the deluxe edition that I got of the game. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm not going to do it as long of a video, just going to talk about a little bit about the game, what it is, and thoughts. I have played this a few times solo, so I will give you a solo take on it and a multiplayer take. So let's start with the game board. So I'm not going to put it all out there because it would take up a lot of room. You know, I don't have an overhead camera. Trying to get a little bit more lighting in here for you so it's a little bit brighter video. Hopefully this helps. As you can see, this is part of the board. And up here on your turn, the game's actually going to go for 16 rounds. And each turn you get is going to be a season. And so right here you have spring, summer, autumn, and then winter. And the spring, summer, autumn phases are going to have you go through certain actions, and then when you get to winter, you'll do a different kind of activities and stuff. So over here on your turn in those phases, you're going to move your Cossack, which is this meeple, and I'll talk about how and where you'll move him. But you have this meeple here, and this meeple will start on a tile on the board here, and it's going to be moving farther into Siberia, finding furs, doing actions, and taking additional actions. And there's a little bit of confusion there, and I'll talk about, but for the most part, that's what you're doing. You're moving him, and it has to go forward 1 or 2 spaces to a new region, or it could be in a new region or the same region. Then you'll do a basic action. All your basic actions are up here. You can take a coin. You can move forward or backwards up to 2 spaces. You can gain 4 horses, or you can hunt, which would get you furs from the tile. You could hunt a second tile on that specific punch board token as a second action on there, or a free action, but you're spending a coin to do it. One thing I will add is if you're wanting to move more than 2 spaces, you do have the ability because you can spin horses. A white horse is 1 horse, and then you see these purple, those are 3. So those allow you to move a little bit more. When you do this action, however, you cannot spin horses to move additional through that basic action. The last one is a trade action here, which basically by spending this space is for a starting market tile. They're from 2 to 7. You'll randomly pick one of those at the beginning of setup, and then it will go here. The rest of them will be placed either if you do the basic setup, which is in order. Otherwise, you can randomize and just mix it up however you want to change variability of the game. But if I take this basic action, which is trade, I can spend this level first. So if the 7 base fur was there, I could spin this 7 base fur. And whenever you spin fur, it has to be the exact. I can't say this was a 2. I can't spin a 7 as a 2 unless I spend a coin to do it to make that a wild. So that's going to dictate a lot of times what you can do. Now you can go to the market up here by doing these auxiliary actions. And those will allow you to get more fur, but it is tight a lot of times when you're trying to get a specific fur to do actions, and why would you need those? I'll talk about that in a second, but again, don't want to make this too long, just want to give you an idea and then tell you my thoughts. And I do like this game, and I will tell you why. But as a trade action, you basically get to do these twice, and you can do the same one. So I could take 2 coins, I could take a coin and move up on the story track, which I could show you in a second. I could move twice. You can pick any of these, and you can double them up. Those are your basic actions, and this is where it gets a little confusing because you're using the word action over and over. And on your turn, so you're going to move your Cossack forward. You're going to take any one basic action for free. Then you get to do 1 or 2 main actions, and the main action clarification is you can either do basic action or you could do an advanced action. Advanced actions are going to be different things, like you might if you're on a tile and you've removed the furs, or you have the horses to spin to alleviate the fur that's on there, you could get a tile. And why would you do that? Well, not only do they give you points or different resources immediately, but at the end of the game, if you have a set of, they're different, there's a blue, green, gray, and brownish color. If you get a set of 3 of those, that additionally adds 3 points at your in-game scoring. If you had a set of 4 different types, that's going to give you 6 points. And you can do multiple sets. Thing is in this game, you can have many different ways to get points and ways to win, but you want to limit. You can't do everything, and that's, as we say, is a sign of good games, is I cannot do everything I want, and there's going to be times where I wish I had the resources to do an action, and I spend them the last round or last turn doing that additional action by spending that. And so a lot of times you have to weigh out, when do I use it and how can I do more. So gaining tiles is one way. This right here is a start tile that your Cossack will start on, and then these will be connected on the board. There will be 12 of them. There will be a few starting ones and then more. And the furs are going to be placed on here. And so when I hunt, I can just take that fur. If I want to take a second fur, I would pay a coin to do it. Now, these are going to be numerically ascending order. So if I had a 2, it'd be a 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up. The special thing about 8 tiles is they help you go up the story track. The only other tile that acts as fur is going to be the tiger tiles. And the tiger tiles, they will... Basically, they're a wild, so that's the one thing that's a wild that doesn't use a coin, but if you don't spend them for a fur, you can get 2 points. And so those will add up. In addition, on your advanced actions, if you don't want to take a tile to your next to your board, you can take a village action. And the village action, these are really good because these do not come off the board. They're going to stay in that region the whole game. But this one will get you a banner, which gives you more horses in the winter phase. This one gives you an outpost. And outposting is another action, advanced action, and I'll go back through some more of those tiles in a second, but you're going to have these X's, and you want to put these X's on the board. By doing that, you allow yourself to get more variability in what actions you could do. So these will place right here, depending on player count. And when you get there, but the first one, as you can see, is free in a 4-player game. In a 3-player game, you're going to block this one off. But then you have horses that you pay to put these, and that's the cost that it is horses. And by putting this on the board, my Cossack does not have to be there for an advanced action. So basic actions can only be done where you're at. The advanced actions can be done either where your Cossack is in that region, anything in that region, or I could do an action where the outpost is. And I said you can do up to 2. So if I do 1 of placing an outpost, I could do an additional later on a later future turn. If I do an additional, it's going to take the fur. I'm going to need to match that fur. And I'll tell you what that is in a second. Let me go back to the village tile. So that's what gaining an outpost looks like. You can do a market action to just take a tile from the market, which is very handy at times. So if you can get an outpost here, instead of spending stuff to do the market action as an auxiliary action, which again, I have to keep saying, I'm going to tell you about, because they're just so, that's a confusing part, is the action system. But once you get down, there's a lot of options. This is your treasure. You're doing treasure. So on your board, you have your board here, and this is a deluxe piece here. That's why it's screen printed. But you'll have this tracker, and it'll want to move down, which, as you can see, anything with a silver banner is going to give you in-game points, like the tiger tile. Anything with a gold banner or shield is going to give you immediate victory points, like on the tile that I showed you. So this starts here, and at the beginning of the game, if I do this action, if I have a fur that matches my next region, I can spin that fur to move this token down. And you would want to do that, as you see it gets you in-game points as you move down the track. But in addition, you can only do this treasure box And even if you don't move this token down, you can do the treasure box collection, so as that action. So if I kept it here, I would only be able to take 3 horses, but maybe I need those 3 horses, and that's the action that I have available to me. But if I'd moved it down, now I can either take the 3 horses, or I can take 2 song steps on the song track. And as you move down, it's going to continue, and there's more actions here. I can do a village tile, which I'm showing you with, but I can't do the treasure one again. I can gain an immediate point. You'll see that gold shield. I can take 2 market tiles from the bag, choose one and put the other one back while gaining 2 horses. I can take a tile from the market, gaining 2 songs. As you can see, these increase and get better. I can do a yurt, which is an advanced action I'm going to show you in a second. Or if I get all the way to the bottom, I can do this action, which means I can take any 2 but not double up one of them, which can be really good. So as you do these advanced actions and these paths to try to get victory points at the end and victory, you increase the ability of what you're doing and making it more plentiful and beneficial, just like placing outposts and being able to do more actions on the board and having versatility. So that's what this one is. This is, again, gain a banner, which gives you more horses in winter, and you get 5 horses. And this last one here, and these are always going to be the same, but maybe in different placement, is you get a song, step, and a coin. I told you there were yurt tokens. These yurt tokens are going to be another spot on the region of the board. There will be 5, one for each region, and they'll replace at the end of winter. But you'll see, as an example, I could just take this yurt. The yurt gets removed from the board. That's how they slide down, and more are added. But you'll get 3 song steps. And again, I'll try to flip that part of the board open to show you. This one, you get 1 song and a tiger. Again, these are later ones. You'll see they're most things are denoted by an A or a B symbol. And let me get you an A. So you'll start with A tiles, and then you'll get Bs, which are going to be more in-game focused, give you more things that give you more points, or maybe upgraded. So like this one has 6 song steps, whereas the A one's going to give you like 5. So your advanced actions were placing an outpost, getting a terrain tile. You could get a yurt. You could do a village action. So I think that's it. I may be missing one, but I think that's all your options for. Oh, last one is there's one more. You can get a Tsar's wish card. These will be on the bottom of the board, and they'll slide just like the yurt tiles. They will have a requirement. This is an in-game one. You'll see the B up at the top. So this is going to be one later in-game focus. That's why you have the abilities here. But it shows you what the requirement is to have in your supply. So I would need 2 6-level furs. And if it has a red border, I'm going to discard both of those to do that. And then I would gain 1 point and get a 3 points at the end of the game. Those are level Bs. Let me show you starting, because I know they'll have an ongoing. So this is one that's a starting card, denoted by the S here. This one's going to require 4 level 3 furs. I'm going to discard 1. It gives me an immediate point. I'm going to tuck it next to my board. And then in winter, because you see the winter symbol, I'm going to gain 2 additional horses for every outpost that I've placed on the board. So you can see where getting these cards, fulfilling them, and tucking them in is going to boost other actions that you do and give you more resources. So you want to do that too. So it's all a balance of, can I do a little bit of everything and excel in a couple and get a lot of points, like most games we talk about, or you don't want to spread yourself too thin in each one, because then you're just not boosting things as much. You're not being very efficient. So those are your actions that you will take on your turn. You will do that over and over for each season until you get to winter. And let me say, so you do that. The first one is free. When I do a second one, it requires me to pay fur to do that. That's why I say you can do 1 or 2 main actions, which can be basic or advanced. If it's advanced, I must spend a fur, wherever my outpost or Cossack is, wherever I'm doing that action, that's going to require that fur that matches that region. So like I said, those starting furs are going to be in each region, and you have to match that or pay one and a coin to make it a wild. Or I can do a basic action, and that's going to take any level fur. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to match the region you're in. Let's talk about auxiliary actions real fast before we move on. The auxiliary actions are over here. I can spend 5 horses at any time on my turn to take either 2 from the bag and pick one, or 1 from the market. Helps you get more fur so that you can do more actions. You will want to spend your resources. I told the guys, don't just hoard your resources. You do want to spend them to gain more, including the fur. Don't just stock up trying to do something. You need to spend them to do more actions, to get more things. It's very important that you do utilize your resources and don't just hoard them. What you could do for a big action later, but you're still limited by 1 or 2 actions, so it's usually you want to spend them. I can fulfill a card. So those wish cards I showed you, if I meet the requirement, I can fulfill that, flip it over and tuck it under by spending what I need to spend. The rest remain in your supply to use. So that's one good thing about collecting for those, is you get them and then you don't have to get rid of all of them. The last one is I can spend a horse and any fur to get a fur of a lower value, any lower value from the market that's face up. Or I can spend 2 of any fur to gain a fur from the market. So basically, if you don't have horses, you can spend 2 to get the one you really need. And again, 8s have this symbol on them. There are some cards that help, but there won't be a region tile. So you have to balance out if you're trying to get a card for them. They're really good to gain the song and then trade for something else, because you're not going to see a whole bunch of them being utilized as much. So that's all your spring, summer, autumn, or fall actions. Over here in winter, you're going to gain 2 horses, everybody. And then if you have any of these banner tokens, you'll take 1 additional. And any of those cards, like I showed you, that starting card that has a winter symbol, you're going to do that. If it had a summer or whatever spring or fall symbol, you would do it during that season. And again, it's tracked by the top of the board. Then you're going to look at the song track, and we need to show that. So you'll have this token here that is going to be on this song track. And as you see that symbol and do it, you're going to move this token over. And if you're the farthest in the region of Siberia, moving across the board, then you're going to gain 2 additional, and second place is going to gain 1. And then there will be these song tiles that are on the board, and these song tiles are going to, where did I put them? These song tiles are going to be on the board, and you can pick the one that you want to gain the resources for, but it will require you to move down. So if we're in a 2-player game, these would be on that board. And as you can see here, it's got an A. There are Bs, which will require more resources but have more point values. So this one, if I was farthest along and I'm first player, then I get first choice. I'm going to pick, or if I was first player, then I'm going to get first choice. So if I spend 4, I'm going to get 2 immediate points, or I could just spend 2 and get 3 horses, which are going to move down that track, which stays for the next round. So if you don't like what's there, you can say you don't want any of them and stay where you're at, or you can use the little bit that you have, go for a 2, take a small benefit, and then save that for the next round to move up. So that's how that's going to work. The track at the end of the game, if you are here and you're at, for each 4 that you have, you're going to gain more points, 1, 2, and 3, depending on how far you're on the track. If you ever get to 12, you immediately do the benefit, leaving the tile, just taking the benefit, paying the steps, and then you're going to just continue the game. And so you could double up in that round because you gain an immediate by getting to 12, and then when we do the winter phase, you're getting more because you had left over for the round to do that. So that's how that part of the winter is. Then after you've done, so that's whoever's in first place moves 2 spaces, whoever's in second place moves 1 space on the track, then you resolve the tiles. Then you're going to move everybody back in the same order. So whoever's the farthest will be the first player, whoever's second will be second, third, and so forth. And they go on the tile in that way. And so whenever you move forward, if you're the first one to get there, you're the farthest. Someone has to get to the next tile to be ahead of you. Then you're going to slide all the tiles down if there were any taken. If they're not sliding. You're not going to refill the fur. The fur is going to stay on there. The only way to get new fur on a tile is to take these off the board, have new ones come on the board, and then they'll be supplied. Then you'll refresh the market, so you'll remove all those market tiles. You'll put new ones. You're going to remove the song tiles, put new ones. You're going to slide the yurts over and add new ones. You'll slide the Tsar wish cards that are at the bottom of the board over and put new ones. So that's, I mean, the majority of it. You're going to do that over and over for 16 turns. Then you will do, at the end of the game, you'll do in-game scoring, where I can show you that on the board because it gives you a reminder up here. So up here, you're going to score any silver B cards that you have that have the silver shield. You're going to score your sets for your tiles. You're going to, any tiger tiles that you have are going to give you 2 points. You're going to score any points that you gain from moving that treasure token down. You'll gain points for your outposts. So for 1 outpost, you get 1 point. 2 outposts, you get 3 points. 3, you get 6. 4, you get 10. And 5, you get 15. So you can get a lot of points from those. And they give you, I'm telling you, outposts are the way to go. You can get a lot. You increase your action ability, and you can get more points from that. But you can't get bought because there's not room for everybody there. So you have to get there and do them if you want them. If not, like I said, the one person didn't do any of them and only lost by 3 points, but they were heavily focused on other things, and at times I felt like they limited themselves in actions. Any outpost that you've gained, because you only start with 1, you have to do the action to get more from the supply onto your board. So any that you've received from the supply to your board that you haven't spent will give you a point. So it's not like you're losing a whole bunch if you do collect them, but if you neglect them in general and never collect them, then you're giving away a good amount of points there, I believe. Any 2 coins, you're going to get a point. And then right here, you have to do something. So you have to convert any 5 horses that you have into 1 fur. And that fur will, doesn't matter the value, because all you're doing is scoring every 2 furs as 1 point. So you're going to convert those 5 horses to a fur, count out how many furs you have, and then for every 2, rounded down, you're going to get a point. And then at the end, like I said, any 4 on the song track that you still have will give you a point for each 4 steps on the track. So really good. One last thing is I will show you what the solo is, because I have played that a few times too. First game, I made some mistakes. Second game, I fixed those mistakes. So you'll have Ivan's board, and he has an A side and a B side. And as you do this, he's going to gain points. So he, instead of getting resources, will always gain a point. And then at the end, he gains, like the others, in-game points. But how do you do him? How do you operate him? You're going to have these cards, and the stack will be together. And you will always have, this will be the stack, and it will tell you how many spaces you have to move him. If he can, if there's tokens on there, he's going to hunt. If he can't hunt, he's going to gain a coin. This tells you if he takes the top or bottom or middle. On this card, he would take the top one and the bottom one, the least expensive, and the next one down. But as you play the game, you're going to flip these cards over. So you would technically see it like this at the beginning of the game, this pile, and then these. And so these will always be the same. These will kind of be different because as you play, it's going to change the variability of his actions. So if there are no furs on the tile that Ivan's Cossack is on, is he will try to purchase it by paying 2 of the region's matching furs. If he cannot, or if there are furs still on the tile, he will do the bottom action, which is take that village action of that region. And this one, for instance, says he will pay a matching fur to place an outpost on that region. If he cannot do that, then he will gain an outpost. And at times, if he cannot do the actions, then you will look at the next tile over and over and so on. You will go through this deck, and at the end of the game, you have seen, like I said, you'll see all the different movement cards, and as you go, they'll look like this, and you'll see the different actions. And as you go, you want to be careful, because the one thing I did was I started out not letting him take the tiles with the furs the first game, and then for some reason I forgot, and I was flipping the rule book trying to learn everything, and I was letting him buy tiles with the furs on them, and he was like just whooping me by 20. I said, there's no way to beat him. He gets all this free stuff, 25 points. Second game, fixed that correction, and I think I won by like two points. So like it was very close. And there is a way to make the game a little bit more difficult by using the other side, or there's a mention in the rule book how to change that. But in general, that is how it is. It is a fun experience. So if you like solo, like I said, I soloed a bunch, or quite a few times back in the day. Left it, just played video games or did whatever. Got into Root solo, been doing a lot of Root solo, and was like, well, I mean, it has a solo mode, so I guess I need to just start trying that since I have a little bit of time right now, and see if it's any good and tell people about it. So solo for this game is fun. Is very thinky how to get ahead, because he will start first. He does a lot of stuff to get stuff, and so you've got to think about how can I maximize my stuff to stay ahead of him. And it's okay if he's ahead of you throughout the game, because you can plan to get a lot of in-game points by doing things. But it's a fun little challenge. Like I said, the first time I played it a little bit wrong, fixed it, felt like I actually had a chance and inched it out. But I don't think it would be where I just dominate the AI every time, especially if I'm playing a harder mode. So that's that. It will take a little time your first game as you're learning it, because as you can see from my description, which is pretty, I mean, it's thorough, but I didn't specify every single example or go over every single thing exactly. But it's going to take a little bit of time that first time. Second game went quite a bit quicker solo, especially once I fixed that mistake, and it was probably more fun, because I actually felt like I had a chance and I wasn't just getting demolished by a rules mistake. But it was quicker, and I didn't have to look at the rule book much. It's a great way to learn the game before you teach it to people. I taught some friends the game, and they were like, man, I read the rule book beforehand, but the way you described it and explained it, and I would have done a little bit more in depth if you were in front of me. But those they felt like it was very well explained, because I'd spent the time to do that solo. So it will be a great way for you to explain this. I feel like this is a medium heavy game. I don't feel like it's a heavy game. I feel like it is not a medium. At first solo, it feels like a medium to medium heavy. As I played with people and watched them do their actions and try to figure things out, I feel like it's a medium heavy game. Multiplayer, I'll tell you, first game, people are going to have AP, and some people have a lot of AP in this game. So if you have people that you play with that have analysis paralysis bad, this is probably not the game for you, because it will be long. Even the first move took one friend like 10 minutes, because he was trying to figure out everything that had been explained and then make a move. So I feel like it's medium heavy. I feel like it's not quite heavy, I don't think. For me, it felt like more medium, especially as you play more. It's going to feel a little bit easier. But your first game, just expect people to have a little bit of AP, hopefully not a lot of AP. But the multiplayer experience is just as fun as a solo, if not more. I mean, you're playing with people. It can get frustrating because they actually walk you more than the AI is going to do, because they can think on their own, not just flip cards. So it's a medium heavy game. Expect a little bit longer your first game. I would say maybe for us it took like 3 hours, not including my 20 to 30 minute explanation of the game or setup and breakdown. So just expect that may be the only game that you play your first time. But I feel like it will get a little bit quicker after people figure out how the furs work, how the auxiliary actions. The most confusing thing, like I said, is your actions are called actions. You have basic actions, you have main actions, which can be basic or advanced, and then you have free time auxiliary actions that you can do as many as you can pay for, as many times as you want as you can pay for. So, but I do think that this is a really good game. Like I said, it blocks you from doing every single thing that you want to do. You can't do everything. You have to do a little bit of everything and then extend on 2 or 3 different things like good games make you do. You will not have the resources for every single thing that you want to do. You're going to have some, but then you're going to need more. If you don't, you're not going to be able to do every single thing you want, and that's okay. Those are signs of good games when you're limited because you can't do every single thing you want, and it's frustrating. But those are signs of really good games. I think this is a really good game. I think it will and should get more response. I know there's a little heat that I've heard in just forums and stuff about people saying that Deluxe could have been better. Yeah, but I feel like I do have a Deluxe game. So if you do get the Deluxe game, I feel like it's Deluxe. I was worried about the cardboard insert. I put together wooden inserts, and now cardboard inserts. I do really like this insert, though. I'll tell you, I was worried about it, but as I did it, it was still fun to put it together. It was pretty easy. I didn't have to worry about it coming apart later, and it organizes the game greatly. So I'm all for the cardboard insert if that's a stretch goal or something in a Deluxe. I'm very excited about more cardboard inserts. Also, it should help the environment a little bit, and it's cost effective. So I'm all for that. I was worried about the cards fitting in sleeves in the little segments, but they do fit, as you can see. They just kind of slide in there and they fit as part of the insert. As you can look, I really like the Deluxe bag. I just think this looks great, and with the bear on the back. Screen printed tokens are good. So there's a little bit of people talking about that. It's not the best Deluxe game I've seen. Metal coins, I'm all for metal coins, but it is Deluxe enough that I feel like I got a Deluxe product. It's just that they could have done things better, like any company could do at times. So would I recommend this game? I would, as long as you have either want to do solo or are okay with a medium heavy game that people are going to maybe have a little AP at the beginning and then get a little bit better, and in future games extend that to be more pleasing and quicker. But I do recommend it. There's not, like I said, not many videos on it, so if you're watching this and you just want to know, it does get a recommendation. I do think it's I actually really like this. So I like that there's a lot of options to go for. You have especially if you get your Outpost out there, your options are vast. Just know if people aren't thinking ahead of their moves as people are playing and know how to think on their feet, it's going to extend it a little bit, and that's where that analysis paralysis comes in. But I do like that there's a lot of variability. There's tiles you're not going to see in that game, but over time you will see them all. You get rid of the A's halfway through the game, and now you're doing B's, which are more reward focused but cost more, and they're going to give you more in-game focus a lot of times. There are player variability on the back of the boards that you can do. So this one, you'll see the track is shorter. They don't have any 3 or 6 fur, and they only have 1, 5, and 10. So no 3 and 6 spot. So they're going to move down, but they also have the rewards less because those spaces aren't there. So I do like that the boards are asymmetric on the back that you can do, and that changes the way you play. I haven't played that yet, but it does look interesting, and I do think that will increase gameplay, but it may also increase a little bit, more options are going to take more focus away. So overall, great game. I'd give it probably an 8. 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. I really like it. Some people may not. The people I played last night, I think, liked it. I mean, from what I heard, that they liked it, unless they, bashed it after they left. I haven't heard that, but I think they liked it. Trading in the furs, limiting yourself, not being able to use that, just give a 7 for a 2, I think is great. Having to match the region you're in if you want that advance action, or just getting rid of any fur to do a basic action. So those requirements make it more Agricola-like. That's a reference I use versus Caverna. I don't like very forgiving games. I like you to have to be able to manage well, to play well, and to achieve all you want to do. And if you're not doing that, I don't feel like you should just, get this or that. Like I said, I think it's an 8. Like I said, I like the solo. I've played it. I'll probably continue to play it, whenever I do solo, and I'm not doing a different solo game. So having that option, having a deluxe version, having all the different reasons I told you that I do like the game, it's an 8 for me. I do recommend it for anybody that is interested in it. I would say watch what I went over and see if that's something that a gameplay that you would like. It is kind of set collection. You are moving. It's not per se worker placement. It's you're moving your worker, but it has the aspect of it. If I move it to this region, I can do these actions unless I built those outposts, which gives you that. It's not a card engine building per se. It's more of you're just managing your resources to build up your actions. So it's good. I like it. It's up to you to take everything I've said and decide if that's a game for you, but hopefully you do enjoy it. I hope you like this video. If you have any other recommendations of videos you would like Lance or I to do, we should be getting some more videos done soon with summer and vacation and sickness, so it makes it a little bit hard sometimes, but we're getting back into it, and we can't wait to give you more content. Again, if you have any suggestions of content you'd like to see or questions about this game, Stroganov, please write it in the comments, subscribe to us. My Instagram, Mo Mini Mo Problems, been doing a lot of painting, just learning how to base. So if you want to see how that's turned out for me, which I really like, and actually displayed on my shelf, my first mini, because it just looks like a really good piece now. You can check that out. But this was Stroganov by Andreas Stedding, which is a big designer that's done a lot of stuff. I believe he did Hansa, Teutonica, and some other games. I think he might have even done Gugong. I will say one more thing is the theme isn't super strong, but it makes sense what you're doing. It's just you're not engrossed in theme. So the theme is there. It's not anything that I'm really thinking too much about other than getting the fur. But it is I could see what they're doing. It's just it's not like Zombicide where I feel like I'm moving around killing zombies or anything that's super themey. But there is a theme there. The artwork I think is great. Some people didn't like some of the white design on the board, but again, 8 Stroganov by Game Brewer Games. So till next time, I'm Jeremy, and this was Hard to Master. We'll see you.